My hair is super dry. Hi guys, I'm Stephanie and this is Two Curls One Comb, and today I wanted to do a video about my breastfeeding experience because there was a lot of things that I was super not aware of and ill prepared for, and I just want to give some suggestions and tips because it's so not easy. It's just not easy, and I'm here for you. I understand. I totally get it. So if you want to see more videos like this, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and go check out our website at twocurlsonecomb.com. Let's get this video moving. The first tip I have is you want to find a lactation consultant and a breastfeeding group, and you want to do this preferably in your last trimester, I believe, because I didn't do it at all, and I literally was like, I know that the hospital, when you deliver, your hospital has a lactation consultant on staff for you when you're in your maternity ward. So I knew that. I knew the hospital I was going to was going to have that, so I figured if I needed help, she'd be there and I didn't need to do any additional work. However, I will say I wish I would have. It helps you be more prepared. There's a lot of when you join a lactation or a breastfeeding group, there's a lot of mothers there who have been breastfeeding longer than you. A lot of times mothers come with babies as old as 1 year old, and they just have, they're full of knowledge. So a lot of your questions can be answered just by you sitting in the room. You don't even have to necessarily talk. The hospital I went to, and I'm located in Maryland, was Arundel Medical Center. I believe that their breastfeeding group meets every second and fourth Thursday in the month. And I have all the rest of the information down in the description just in case you're close, because I really did find them helpful once I realized that they were there. The next suggestion I have kind of goes in line with the first suggestion, and I literally wrote in my book, abuse the on-duty lactation consultant. And what I mean by abusing her is call her, period, all the time. You think the baby's hungry, call her, because literally getting your latch right, especially if you're not going to use nipple guards or any of the fancy things, if you're just going to do it old school style like I wanted to, you're going to find that your latch, it's going to take practice. And the only way you're going to practice is if she's there consulting you every time that you stick your boob in your mouth, because you're also in your mouth, in the baby's mouth, because you're also teaching them how to latch to you. It's a learning experience between the both of you, and so the quicker that you teach them how to do it right, the easier it's going to be for you. So I would say call them every time you feed the baby. Pick up your phone, and at Arundel everybody has a personal phone. You as the patient has a personal phone that's attached to your bed, and everybody who works with you has a personal phone, and they write their numbers down on the wall in front of you at Arundel Medical Facility or Center, and you can literally dial them. I, for some reason, thought that the first time I latched with Khalani, I thought I had it, like I was some kind of genius, and I never called the lactation consultant ever. Bad move. Also, if you're unable to use your lactation consultant or find a third-party lactation consultant, I got lucky. Khalani's pediatrician is also a lactation consultant, so I utilize her. But a lot of times lactation consultants, especially in this area where I am, they don't bill insurance, so they can be really expensive if you can't find a group to join, or a lactation consultant that leads a group, a breastfeeding group, that is willing to show you a latch for free. A lot of them aren't willing, so they can range from $150 to $250, and I went back and forth pricing and back and forth, and when I found out her pediatrician was one, I was so happy because that was the biggest saver. But if you can't find one and you feel like your latch is not good, get a nipple shield. just get one. It will help you. The Nipple Shield is more like a bottle. It's more, makes your nipple more like a bottle, and it sits on top of your nipple, and when the child sucks, it brings your nipple into the shield, and you won't have any pain or any skin breakage with that until you can find somebody who can help you with your latch. I would suggest, while you're in the hospital at least, to feed the baby every 2 hours. So every 2 hours you're calling the lactation consultant. That way you're making sure that you're getting your latch completely 100% right. And they offered me, I only stayed in the hospital 1 day post having Khalani. Looking back, I probably should have stayed the second night. Only because if I would stayed the second night, I feel like I would have been more amped to feed her every 2 hours as opposed to trying to on-demand feed her, which my baby Khalani didn't really demand to be fed when she was first born. So it led to other problems, and I'll make another video about that. But if you stay in the hospital, they pretty much, they come in and they check on you. They come in and ask you, has your baby peed? Has your baby pooped? And if, of course, you answer no, they have different tips, and, you know, they will instruct you on how to get your baby to thrive. And I didn't know that that's why they were trying to get me to stay the extra night. I wanted to go home because I wanted to go home. I wanted to be in my own bed. I wanted them to stop bothering me at night. Like, I wanted to be comfortable, but I should have stayed that extra night. So I'm suggesting that you stay that extra night. Just so that the health of your baby will thrive, especially if it's your first child. And the lactation consultant works like an 8 to 5 shift, but the nurses do know how to latch your baby. At least at the hospital I went to, they do know how to latch the baby. They know if you're doing it wrong. So again, there's more practice. My next suggestion is, and there's a lot of back and forth with whether or not you should pump immediately as soon as your milk comes in. You should wait, blah, blah, blah. But I'm here to tell you, I wish I would have pumped as soon as my milk came in. And my reasoning behind that is because when your milk comes in, you're going to overproduce. Your boobs are going to be engorged. You're going to be leaking everywhere. You are going to be a hot mess, okay? But with that engorgement, your body is trying to adjust to what your child needs. Khalani's case, and most babies' cases, they only need about 2 ounces, 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces, 2.5 ounces tops, kind of milk. So once your body adjusts to your baby, the only thing you're going to produce until they start demanding more is that 2 ounces. And for a lot of mothers who are trying to go back to work in 6 weeks, you're not going to be able to stock milk unless you pump. You have got to pump. So what my doctor said do after I finally found out it was okay for me to pump, because a lot of people will tell you it's not okay to pump because you're taking milk away from your child, but that's totally not true. Your body will produce for your child. So I had a friend tell me that she actually pumped first and then fed her child to get her milk to come in quicker so she could stop quicker. My doctor, however, told me, and this is what I did what the doctor said. She told me to feed Khalani first and then pump. And the only reason for that is because your letdown is, how do I say it? The letdown is the bulk of what your child will get. Within that first 10 minutes of your milk releasing, is the quickest your milk is going to release, and it's the most your child is pretty much going to get. So I just didn't want Khalani to get bored and fall asleep and not get enough. I just wanted her to get what she could get, because I could sit all day with the pump. She, however, used to just fall asleep because it was so relaxing for her to be latched to me. So that's what I did. But unfortunately, I did it after my body had already adjusted to her drinking only 2 ounces. So I was getting like a 1/2 ounce each time I pumped. And that can be frustrating because the bags that you use to store milk aren't free. They aren't cheap, at least not to me. So So I have decided that I'm filling up the bag, right? So if I'm only given a half an ounce each time I pump, that was, oh my God, mind blowing. Like, it was the biggest hurdle to jump over. So I would say pump. As soon as you realize, oh, I got milk and not colostrum anymore, go for it, girl. Pump. Hashtag pump, for real. My next suggestion would be to stock up on breastfeeding supplies prior to giving birth. Just like you stock up on diapers, just like you stock up on clothes, you should also be going through the Babies R Us aisle, the Target aisle, looking for things that you know you're going to need for breastfeeding. Like if you're inverted, if your nipples are inverted, get Nipple Shields, because they will save you. Please get Nipple Shields. That's something I didn't do, and Khalani pulled out my inverted nipple, and I'm still healing. Khalani is 3 months. I am still healing. Get a Nipple Shield. The other things you should get are Hydrogel Pads. They are super soothing. If you're going to have sore nipples, so the Hydrogel Pads are super soothing. The thing about them is, if you're leaking, they're not really going to catch the milk. Like, you're going to leak. So when you use them, I would suggest being at home somewhere you don't care about leaking, because it's going to happen. You need breastfeeding pads. Do not get the light. Do not get panty liners. Get breastfeeding medium flow or medium weight or heavy duty breastfeeding pads, because you're going to saturate them. I'm still saturating them to this day. Just take my warning. Don't get panty liners. They don't work. You also need to get maternity bras and maternity camis, obviously, for obvious reasons. You need to be able to feed your child. My next suggestion is, don't be afraid to ask for help. I personally was super embarrassed when my child had to be supplemented. I supplemented her with I think it was Similac for I think about 3 weeks because of her weight gain, and I also had to supplement her a couple weeks after that with my own milk because of our latch issue. So and I was super embarrassed about it, because I thought, you're supposed to be able to sustain your child and take him out the hospital and be able to run. Like, I thought you're supposed to be perfect. Come to find out, a lot of mothers have to supplement their kids, whether it be with their own milk or with, Similac or Enfamil. That is also why I'm telling you to go ahead and pump as soon as your milk comes in. That way you can stock quicker, because if you do run into an issue where you have to supplement your child, you can always supplement with your own milk. So you don't have to go through the Similac like I did. And it's a whole nother issue with cow's milk with me. Like, mentally, I broke down. And I was so embarrassed. I thought I had did something wrong, and come to find out, a lot of moms have to do it. So don't be afraid to get help. Don't be afraid to talk, or at least listen. For me, I have one other friend who also breastfed her child and had a lot of issues, like fussiness at the boob, latch being incorrect. There's a whole lot of issues that can go wrong. And because she had all this knowledge, me talking to her and getting feedback from her helped me stay determined to keep breastfeeding my child. Because there was a point in my experience where I definitely was like, so I think I'm going to exclusively pump, and I'm not going to breastfeed my child anymore, because I got so discouraged. And it's a lot of this is leading into my next tip, which is be determined. Because a lot of people, even though breastfeeding was the first way people fed their babies, a a lot of people still just don't know about it, and a lot of the things you're going to go through, like me and Khalani went through a learning curve where she had to learn how to latch. I had to learn how to get her mouth wide enough to latch to me, and because of that she was crying and crying and crying, and even just how to hold her right so she could swallow. Like, and a lot of people would say, maybe you should just give the baby a bottle, maybe she's not getting what she needs from you, and all these words, they don't realize they're being so discouraging and so frustrating to you. Like, I even heard, she does so much better with the bottle, and all these words are so discouraging. So if you have somebody in your life who is trying to breastfeed their child, please don't say these things to them, because it's infuriating. And if you're hearing these things, call your one friend, and if you need to email me, you can email me at the email listed down below, and I will more than be happy to reach out to you, because it is super duper stressful, especially when you have no one around you who's done it before. So those are my suggestions. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, and follow us here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.